I'm going to explain a little bit about the near infrared and infrared belts that we offer here, okay? And this is what they come with. They're in a box, look like this. And within the box contains a little bit about the actual laser itself. I'll show this to you on the camera here. So it's a near infrared and infrared belt, okay? And these are the light source, or 635 nanometer, which is red light that you can see, and 850 nanometers, which are the near infrared wavelengths. These watts are at 18 watts. That's the rated power. Okay, so you could look at, so you divide this amount of diodes in each belt by that 18 watts and you come up with how much it is each diode per watt. So this is a total of 18 watts of energy being applied from this belt into the tissue. All right, and of course it works off a 12 volt, so it has a battery pack, and it has a battery box, it has a power supply, a power controller, and a user manual, and I will show you that in 1 second here, okay? So, this is the one I've been using as a demo, and let's look at this. So I'm going to bring the camera. All right, so this is what the belt looks like. You open it up. Okay, and this is the battery box. And you can plug it into the wall too. It's nice to have the battery box because it makes it portable. Now, it doesn't come with the batteries. These batteries are 3.5 rechargeable batteries. They're very large. Okay, and you have to buy these separately. They're about, I mean, these batteries are like 20 bucks a piece. So they're a little pricey, but it's really worth it. And we cannot ship it with batteries in the box anyway. So, and they're rechargeable. So what happens is you recharge them with the power pack. There's two openings, two areas to plug in here on the battery pack. Okay, you've got, this one is for the to charge it, plug that into the wall, and this output is for the belt itself. You see when I turn it on, you see those blue lights? That means that the battery is charging and it's ready to go. So it's nice, it recharges itself. All right, so we're not going to use the plug-in part, although we could, but let's demonstrate it with the battery pack. So we have our belt here. And there's the input for the plug. Now it has a zipper pack, it has a zipper here where you can unzip it. And if you need to, you can pull out the belt, which is in a neoprene, and then you can wash this cover if you need to. Makes it pretty easy. So let's just plug her in here. Now you can just plug it directly into the unit without the timer. I'll show you how that works. If I plug this in, it should turn it right on. Voila, there we go. So now it's just plugged into the battery pack. Now what you're going to notice on this belt is every other diode is a near infrared. Now the visible eye can only see the red light, but the near infrareds are invisible. However, that's the 880 nanometer wavelength, and infrared is shown to penetrate deeper than the red light. However, so these are the two wavelengths that are considered beneficial in healing, are the red light and the near infrared. So when I got these belts, I wanted a combination of infrared and red light. And again, the total output of this belt, I think, is 18 watts. So you would divide the amount of diodes you see here into to figure out how many watts are in each diode. The total output is 18 watts, and that's a beneficial wavelength. So once it's plugged in, you can also do it with the timer. So you can control the output, how long you keep it on. So we're going to plug in the timer here. We're going to do this. Now it's a little longer. Now the timer works by, it has a timer and you hit the button. Let's do this right. It should, oh, there it goes. All right, so it came on. So there we go. So now, let's do that again. It has a little pouch in it to stick the little thing in so it doesn't fall out like it just did to me. So you can stick it in right there into that little pouch. And so we turn it on with the on and off. Hold on a second. And then this scrolls up the time to 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, and then back down to 10 minutes, okay? And then you turn it on by hitting that button, so. Okay. So you see, so that turned on the, so that's how the timer works. Okay, and you can see that it's set for 10 minutes. All right. Now what you can do with this is, this can be applied anywhere you got pain, stiffness, achiness, neuropathy. Red light and near infrared light is a healing wavelength that actually goes into the tissue, and what it does is it activates the mitochondria. And the mitochondria are within a cell. The powerhouse which absorbs nutrition, called glucose, is the mitochondria. And when the cells get nutrition, the mitochondria act and function. That's what gives you energy. So the mitochondria is like your little powerhouse within a cell. And it needs glucose. It needs food that's brought in through the nutrition. Well, and that's called glucoglycolysis. Glycolysis is where your body takes in glucose and uses it as energy. Well, there's another thing called oxidative phosphorylation. And that's when light, photons of light from the sun, radiant energy in these wavelengths, red and near infrared, when that energy goes into the cells and it hits the mitochondria, oxidative phosphorylation allows the mitochondria to absorb some of that energy, and it kickstarts the cells to work. So light therapy acts on the mitochondria by striking the mitochondria, and the mitochondria absorb the photonic energy, and then the mitochondria start to function as if they were being fed with nutrition. Now you can't live off of light, obviously. We don't make starches, but it is, our bodies respond very favorably to it. So one of the reasons why these red lights and these red devices work so well when we have issues is that as we age and we have injuries, we're not getting enough nutrition and blood supply to these areas, such as the brain. You know, the brain starts to atrophy when we get older, and it needs blood flow just like everything else does. But when you get hardened arteries and there's some blockages or restriction, or the heart isn't pumping as hard as it used to, the brain starts to suffer from blood circulation. And what they're finding is that red light therapy penetrates through the skull about this far. And when you put, they made these bathing caps where they put these red and near infrared LEDs in it. And when they put the cap on a person, cognitively they improved. I saw the study. It was 10 years ago. I was at the North American Laser Low-Level Conference, and the Army, Walter Reed's Army Hospital came in. They did some studies on brain injuries and traumatic spinal cord injuries using red light and near infrared to heal and to help with these symptoms. And that was 11 years ago. Today, it's becoming much more mainstream, but the way you would use this is by applying it. So, it works really well on bones. So one thing you can do with this is you can just take it and wrap it around your head, just like this. Let me get this so I can do this. I'm going to leave it on. And then we wrap it around. I got the wrong way. Hold on. This is the Velcro attachment. So we're going to put this on the head. We're going to bring it around, and then this piece here is going to attach like that. Now, okay, so what I've done is I made it into a cone, and I can put this on my head. Now this is going to cover the frontal cortex of my head, and I can sit back in a chair. I can relax, and there's no symptoms or pain from it. But you could read, you could watch TV, you could take a nap. And this is neuroprotective. This is one way that you can use the belt. And of course, the frontal cortex is where our higher thinking and reasoning comes from. So this is more going to treat the frontal cortex. If you turn the belt around back the other way, where now those diodes are more located around the brain stem, which is in the back, and the cerebellum, this has a little bit more to do with movement, problems with gait, ataxia, difficulty with balance. This feeds the brain this energy here. You can also take it, unstrap it, and you can put it directly on your head, almost like a scarf, like this. And this is very beneficial. This really treats the top of the head. So I do this daily. I do it. It helps me at night sleep. It helps me. I just feel better. I notice it balances out my emotions a little bit. When I use it, it helps me go back to sleep. If I wake up and I'm tossing and turning, I'll put that on. Now, some of the other things you can do with red light are that it's very therapeutic. So last night I went shrimping and I strained my shoulder, kind of like my upper girdle here, by pulling up on that net. And last night it gave me a little sharp pain. So when I went to sleep last night, I simply made this into a little larger piece here, and I just put this right on my shoulder like that. And then what I'll do is I'll cover it with a towel so it doesn't shine red light. And I fell asleep with it on. I don't remember how it fell off, but I set it on a 20-minute timer. And today, my shoulder feels better. You can also take these belts and you can put them on the back of a chair like this. You're sitting back, or like on a lazy boy. And of course, with your shirt off, because it does not work through a shirt. It has to be on the skin. You can lay back on it just like this. Now that light is helping feed photonic energy to your entire spine. And that's where all your nerves come from. So, this can help with energy to your extremities, strength. Quite amazing. Now, of course, my bread and butter, as they say, is laser slimming. So we use these as a laser slimming belt also. And of course, we stick it right on the belly. And yes, I could use it a little bit. I gained a little weight in COVID. So now I can strap this on my belly. If I can get that reach behind me. So now it's actually working on my stomach, my belly fat under my shirt. Okay. And then what I'll do with this is, so now we see, so now the red light is going into my tissue, and it's helping to open up the fat cells. And then the fatty acid is released into the circulation. Whole body vibration is going to move it from the outer space, which is kind of like my shirt, the outer space, the interstitial, into the visceral system. And then what will happen is I'll burn and consume those calories over the next 2 or 3 hours. And what you'll see after doing this, I do this for 30 minutes. I get about 1/8 of an inch to a 1/2 inch loss of fat just from doing this and standing on the plate. All right, so I don't even lay down anymore to do this and then do the vibration plate afterwards. I'm finding that I can put it right on just like this. Now, the other thing you can do with these are, since it's portable, I mean, I'm getting treatment right now as I'm walking around because I have the battery pack. As you can see, I mean, you could sit at the desk. You could sit on the couch, watch a little TV, relax. Now you're getting energy on your stomach. You can also wrap this around your knee. If your knees hurt, put that down a little bit so you can see that. So we can apply this directly to the knee, wrap it around the knee, and get therapy into the knee joint. Another really amazing thing about red light is when you apply red light to a bone, like the shin bone, it actually helps stimulate the proliferation of stem cells. Now, stem cells are what the doctors are pulling out of your tissue, whether it's fatty cells from the fat, umbilical cord cells, what they call fetal tissue, the umbilical cord blood, or it's bone marrow taken out of your bone marrow surgically. They take those blood cells and they spin them down, and then they derive stem cells from it. And then they inject the stem cells into the area that hurts. And hopefully the stem cells will help it to regenerate. Well, your body produces stem cells naturally when you get hurt, and your red blood cells do it. And what the studies show that when you apply this red light energy to the shin like this, laying back for 10 to 20 minutes, and then you move it over to the other leg like this for 10 to 20 minutes, you're producing stem cells. And they're going into the bloodstream. And then what's happening is stem cells will be attracted and have chemical messengers that will drive it to tissues that need help. That's the way your body heals itself naturally. So the application of red light on bony prominences, such as the shin or the top of the head, create stem cell production, increasing the blood circulation of active stem cells. And we all know about stem cells, how they can help people. So I was very excited when I saw some of the studies recently. I've been doing red light therapy, using red light for fat loss for over 11 years. And people would come in and say how lupus had gotten better and their bowels are better. There was a lot of healing that happens, but I thought it was more to do with the vibration plate, cleaning up their diet. And I didn't realize how beneficial red light is to the body's tissues until we got into this COVID lockdown. And I went online and I signed up for a symposium on what they call photobiomodulation, which is the use of red light and near-infrared light to heal tissue. And it was a 3-day symposium. And the first lecture that I saw was Michael Hamblin, which is what I sent in that video. And I had posted on my Facebook page. And this guy is like a superstar using red light. He's super smart. He's intelligent. He doesn't have an axe to grind. He's not trying to sell belts or anything. And he said that it is absolutely incredibly effective at brain trauma and people with cognitive decline and Parkinson's and all kinds. Now, we're not saying but when it comes to medical treatment for these conditions, they really are missing the boat with medicine. Medicine does nothing really to stop cognitive decline. They do nothing really all they can do is treat the symptoms of Parkinson's. They can never really reverse it. And one of the promising effects of red light and near-infrared light is it's neuroprotective. It can protect these conditions from ever occurring because they feed it with this energy, with photons, which makes sense. It's from the sun, we get all of our life comes from the sun. This is a way of imparting sunlight into our tissues very safely. Now, these are not cancer-causing wavelengths. This is not ionizing radiation. It's the same red light that you would see in the morning when you look at the sun and it first comes up and you see the reds and the yellows. That's a very beneficial wavelength for us. And then at night, when the sun is going down, you see those reds and yellows again, and that's the spectrum that these belts are duplicating. And of course, you could look at it for a second like this, but it's pretty bright. You wouldn't want to do it for very long. So I hope that answers any questions. The price includes shipping. It's all sent to you. It comes in a box. Let's go back to the area there. So this is what it looks like in a box. Now, I've seen these online for, like $3,000. I was shocked at how much people are charging for them. And I bought some, I tried 5 of them, and then I bought 20 of them. So I'm selling out the door $1,200, and that includes shipping. You got to buy your own batteries because I can't ship the batteries. Okay. Again, neuroprotective. Dr. Tread Rissacker, Slim Body Laser Spa, Stuart, Florida. Our phone number is 772-223-5885 if you're interested in knowing more about it or getting one sent to you. Thank you.